What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, I'm here with my man, Michael.
What's up, y'all?
Me and him are going to locals later tonight, and this is my next portion of locals report, I guess. So we're actually playing something different. Last week was me showing you the end of my 3-week tenure of me doing sub tears 3 weeks in a row at locals. It went pretty well. We ended up going like 10-5 over 3 weeks, a 4-1 top, and then 3-2 both the other weeks in like very close matches that could have gotten me a top 4 or whatever. But yeah, like I said before, our locals is actually pretty nice. A lot of people talk about how like their local. Sometimes you see like deck profiles from locals and stuff where like their locals is like 10 people, but our locals is actually like 20 to like 27 people pretty much every Wednesday. So it's actually pretty good, and it's pretty good testing, 5 rounds, all that stuff. But like I said, today we're playing something different. We're actually playing TRAPTRIX, a deck I've been interested in a while. I held off for a while because I was kind of like, now that we know there's new support, like we have the Called by the Grave, not Called by the Grave, Hole by the Grave.
Yeah, Hole by the Grave.
Hole by the Grave and TRAPTRIX Aromes, the new Xyz monster revealed for Eternity Code. I was kind of like, should I hold off on playing this deck until like we actually get it full power? But like I still think it's good, and I really wanted to play it. And I want to switch something up. I've been playing Guru for like a while now, so I really just want to do something different. But yeah, so this is the first half of the video. We're going to be showing you the deck list, what I'm expecting, and just all my plans going into it. And then we'll cut to the end after the locals is all said and done, and we'll be talking about how everything went, my matchups, all that stuff. So let's get started with the list here. We're starting with our monsters. We got 3 Murmelio, 3 Mantis, and 3 Dianea. Not really getting crazy here. I don't think Aatrax is worth, or Nepenthes. They just don't do anything. And I get it, like, Dianea, turn 1 is pretty much the same. Doesn't really do anything. But at least it's like, I don't know. It just has so much more value later in the game. Whereas Aatrax and Nepenthes are just like always the same. They're just like always just not plussing you anyway whatsoever. So this is like the best follow-up. These two are both pluses. They're incredible. Murmelio is incredible. She gives you such a strong matchup versus like other back row decks because you just get like 2 or 3 free pops like every duel. Next up is Iron Dragon Tiamatron. This is like a pretty spicy card, but it's really good. It's a quick effect. It's a disruption. You can pseudo extra link your opponent with it, which is really crazy. And he just is so, he's like really strong, trust me. And like all you need is like a Sarah and a trap set on your field, and like you can set him up. I know some people get worried about how easy is it to get 3 cards in the same column. Your deck does it with Sarah as soon as you activate 1 normal trap, so it's really easy. And then the two artifacts. I'm playing 1 Scythe and 1 Moral-Tack. A lot of people don't like Moral-Tack, but I really like it for like, I don't know, there's a couple, I think there's like 2 Altergeist player, I know there's another Subterror player, and then I know there's like 1 Old Yeller, at least, or more like just stun players that don't special summon from the extra deck at all, mainly. So like Scythe doesn't do anything, it's just a beater versus them, and this gives you extra value. And then also after turn 1, if I ever draw into a Sanctum or have a Scythe or have a TRAPTRIX that could get me into Sanctum, I have a card that's like way better in the mid game, just like a beater that also is removing a card. So I felt like it was worth it. Next up, 2 Desires. The deck just appreciates the extra card. I have been punished by this. We are playing the Artifact Engine. We are playing TRAPTRIX, so banishing the wrong stuff can be tough, but sometimes you just need an extra card and you got to suck it up and play it. 1 Upstart Goblin, another consistency thing. 2 Called by the Grave, just because Ash on Sarah is like really brutal, but I'm also thinking about taking this out because a lot of people just aren't even playing Ash right now. I guess at our locals people are still playing Ash, but like in the competitive scene, if I went to like a regional or a YCS, I think I'd consider taking this out just because a lot of people just decided like Ash isn't strong enough. They'd rather play Nibiru, Droll, all these other like wild hand traps instead, which this doesn't even like really do much against. Or Droll does nothing to us, and Nibiru doesn't do anything to us, so like we don't care. Then the last spell I play is 2 Super Poly. This was kind of like a thing where I just didn't want to auto lose every match to a combo deck going second if I lose the die roll. The deck is very much tailored to going first, so if you don't win the die roll, like you can be in a really tough spot. So this is just 2 more cards. It's fine going first. I mean, even if you draw a lackluster hand, you can set this, and this can be a very powerful disruption if it resolves. You know, just to rip stuff off your opponent's board. So I just feel like it's so strong, and it breaks through like almost any combo deck just because they can't respond to it, they can't negate it, but you just rip their stuff into your own beat stick and go from there. So 2, not 3. I thought 3 was like a little overkill, but yeah. Then for the traps, the meat of the deck, we've got 3 TRAPTRIX, 1 of each of Floodgate Trap Hole, TRAPTRIX Trap Hole Nightmare, and Bottomless Trap Hole. 3 Compulse, 3 Shade Brigandine, 3 Sanctum, 3 Heavy Stormduster, and 2 Lost Wind. Some people like Floodgate like at 3, but I always have a problem with this deck just because like this deck doesn't amount a ton of offensive pressure in terms of like monsters. So if your opponent summoned like a bigger monster and you Floodgate it, sometimes you just like can't get over it. And next turn your opponent just like summons again and tries to do like combo again on you. And so like I didn't want to get stuck in those situations where like I flip something down and I can't even like break through to like actually amount any kind of pressure. So only 1 Floodgate, still good. I just like wanted other options. TRAPTRIX Trapple Nightmare is in my opinion the best one going first because it's literally just like Solemn Strike. You negate an effect and you destroy a monster. Pretty good. And then Bottomless. Bottomless is mainly there for like Altergeist. Well, not really Altergeist, but Guru. Mainly it's really good on Guru. If they flip summon Guru or just normal summon him, you can just at least beta Fiendus. If not, you're just going to destroy and banish the Guru, which is really huge in the matchup. Just monster removal. Shade Brigadine's insane with the combo. Opening this with any TRAPTRIX monster is really good. Sanctum, locking you out of the extra deck, or getting a beater and popping something. Heavy Stormduster, another card that just makes those matchups versus like other control decks like really nice in this deck. You already have Myrmelio that pops stuff. We have Moral Attack that makes Sanctum like much better against those matchups. And Heavy Stormduster it's technically 6 with TRAPTRIX. It's really good. And then Lost Winds are monster negation. I'm not playing Impermanence in the deck because Impermanence just doesn't work with Shade Brigandine. If you draw on both, it's really awkward because you end up with a trap engrave, and then Shade can't activate, or you activate Shade and you have a card on field, so you can't permanence anymore. So one locks you out of the other like every time, so it's kind of awkward. Yeah, so Lost Wind is our negation for now. Moving into the extra deck, it's pretty standard, I guess. It's 3 TRAPTRIX there. You got to play 3. 1, also the Earth Charmer. It's really nice. The whole archetype is Earth, so it's really easy to get into this. Sometimes you go into it just to be a beater that also floats into any TRAPTRIX monster, which is really nice. And if your opponent does put something in grave that's Earth, you can take it. I haven't done it yet, but I really want somebody to just like Pankratops me, go to the graveyard, and then I can make this later in the duel and like reborn a Pankratops and just like punish them with their own Pank. That'd be so clean.
That'd be dirty.
And then Phoenix and Ningirsu. I decided to play Ningirsu over Unicorn because you end up with a bunch of stuff set all the time and like no cards in hand a lot of the time. So the discard is like worse than the send, and also this is non-targeting, non-destruction removal, so it outs stuff like Avermax, the Master Endymion, as well as like the BLS Link, stuff that can't be targeted or destroyed. You have a couple outs to it, but they're a little specific on the hands you'd have to draw to get them. So I like Ningirsu as another option for that. There, and then for Xyz we play Redoer, Giant Hand, Tornado Dragon, Castel, and Pleiades. Redoer is Redoer. If you do the combo, you're always ending Redoer. I thought Dweller is just like not as good at all. There's more consistent, and then like even if it's a deck that's not punished by Dweller, this card's still nuts. Giant Hand. Well, I'll be honest, like half of the reason why I'm playing Giant Hand is so officially I'm playing Hat in 2020. And the other reason is sometimes you can't guarantee a trap on Redoer, so having a Giant Hand is like a guaranteed disruption for the following turn. Even though it's not the best disruption, it's essentially like a walking impermanence, but I'll take it because sometimes you can't guarantee that monster disruption in other ways. 1 Tornado Dragon, just back row matchups. Sometimes it's better than Fiendus, Phoenix. They have different pros and cons. Like he's a quick effect, he can do it twice in 2 turns consecutively. But Phoenix is like you get to discard card and redraw, which can definitely give you a chance to draw into something you actually needed. It gives you the protection effect on Sarah, making them immune to battle and other stuff. So like they have pros and cons for sure. And it doesn't have to be 2 level 4s. It can just take 2 different leveled monsters. Castel is just a guarantee removal of like a face-up card. So this is kind of like mitigating not having Phoenix or Unicorn. And then a Pleiades. I feel like every, I would say 8 matches, I end up with both Scythe and Moral Attack on field, and your opponent thinks, like, oh, he never got to a TRAPTRIX monster, like, he's screwed. Like, he just has 2 beaters on the field, eventually I'll break through his back row. And then you just make a Pleiades, and they're like, oh, that's a walking compulse that can compulse me 2 turns in a row. So, like, that's the whole idea there, just kind of, like, gives extra value later in the duel to these guys. And then for super poly targets, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Violet Chimera, 1 Almarduke, and 1 Mud Dragon. I thought these were the most generic. I didn't really have too many slots. I wanted to have a good pick of Xyz I could play, good pick of like nice utility links, and so 4 slots is what I ended up with. I think these are the best ones overall. So that's it for the extract. Moving to the side deck to finish it up here, we've got 2 Ash, 2 Nibiru, 2 Droll, and then we'll come over here for 2 Impermanence. I'm playing like a suite of hand traps because legitimately the only going second cards in our entire deck, main deck at least, is like 2 Super Poly, 2 Iron Dragon, Tiamatron. That's it. There's like nothing else that's even like remotely good. There's stuff that's okay. Like in setting Compulse, setting Lost Wind, setting like Sanctum is okay going second, but it's not good. It's definitely not good. So I'm really trying to side in like to just be able to handle anything. I'm usually not siding Nibiru and Droll. They're better in like different matchups, I think. But yeah, I just wanted some more mid-range cards that just keep them from going full wombo, so that we can just kind of, we don't have to break through that much. And then are okay, like then setting Compulses and setting Lost Winds is actually more impactful, can actually finish off the job. One Pankratops finishing up the monsters for the side deck. He's just so good, and he gives you board presence, which the deck definitely lacks, especially going second. He's immediate board presence. He usually can bait out 2 cards, beat over something, and then pop another card. The third Super Poly, I gotta play it. If you're playing, you can't just play 2. If it's at 3, you gotta play it. If you're playing it, you're playing it. If not, don't even, like, it's either 0 or 3 in my opinion. And then for the rest of the traps, 2 evenly matched for the last going second card. It's just so good in the format right now. It's good against everything. And then 3 Judgment. This is the only card I really like focus on siding every single game 1 or game 2 if I know I'm going first, because you know Evenly's coming in, you know Twin Twizzler's coming in, Lightning Storm, and if a deck can play Denko Sekka, like stuff like that. Any of those quote-unquote auto-win cards, this card just blanks any one of those. And yeah, so I think I gotta play it here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the list, at least. I feel pretty good. I've done a ton of at least test hands, and then I did a good amount of testing the last couple days getting ready, and the deck was performing. It really was. Even going second, I was surprised going second how well it actually worked, even with like the main deck stuff I have now. So we'll see. I feel pretty good at this moment in time, but you know, we just gotta wait and see how everything goes. Probably gonna be 5 rounds tonight, and I guess we'll be back with our update on how everything went in a minute. Have anything you want to add, Mikey?
Hopefully I do well with my zombies.
Yeah, Mike's playing zombies, so
as I always do.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll be back in just a minute here with our results and all that stuff. So we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Peace. And we're back. Welcome back, guys. We just did our 4 rounds at locals. It was only 4 rounds today. Usually our locals is actually pretty much bigger. I said it earlier. Usually it's like 20 plus people. Today was only 16, but that's still like fine, like 16 people. Not too small, not crazy big either. But yeah, so 4 rounds of Swiss. Let's get into the results. So in round 1 we played. Sorry, I got my cheat sheet down here, looking at my notes I kept track of. We have Grand Majus. We played Grand Majus to start off the game. Just like kind of I want to say classic stuff, but they also played like Golden Castle, which would be very strong, but also definitely has some big weaknesses. So we won die roll, we went first, and this was just kind of like he had a bunch of extenders because that's kind of what the deck is. But we're just trading like 1-for-1s, and eventually he just like realizes that like he's got no cards in hand, and I've still got monsters in the field. He doesn't. And yeah, I was able to like pop the Golden Castle too, so it didn't get the chance to resolve its defect, to get the special and stuff, and he never really amounted any board presence. And then I just attacked him once, and then on the next turn I stunned him out again, and was able to keep him from getting anything too crazy going again. Next up in round 2, so also that was just game 1, and then game 2 kind of the same thing happened. He just decided to go second, didn't draw any side deck cards or anything. I don't know what he did side deck. I think he was definitely new to the game. He talked about it, and he said he left the game. I don't know how new, but he left the game a while back when like Rituals and Fusions were introduced, and yeah, because he sided in like Sphere mode versus me, and I'm playing TRAPTRIX, so I only had 1, maybe 2 monsters on the field. And yeah, so the game 2 kind of went exactly the same. Never really was able to get enough board presence going, and I just had outs for it. Yeah. And then round 2. So we're 1-0 at this point. Round 2, we play Pendulum. We win the die roll, so we go first. We set up, you know, we do a pretty standard thing. I think I have like Sarah with like 4 traps maybe set, and I just end up kind of just setting a bunch of traps, getting some trap holes set up, and going. The problem is I pretty much stopped everything in his hand, and then like literally the last card. He has Institution and the field spell up for Pendulums, but he never searched this, but he just had it. He had the Master Endymion, and I've totally forgot. I totally blanked on how to save like my interruptions for that, because I did not save the I could have used another disruption at one point. I did not save my Redoer trap interruption for the Mighty Master, because if he just like activated Mighty Master and then I use that to like remove, then like he totally like whiffs on his turn. And I don't think I OTK or anything, but I definitely put a lot of pressure on him, and then potentially can get another chance to stop that Master Endymion on the following turn. But yeah, it was fine. It was good. Then that, and then like game 2, I just kind of go first and stun him. He didn't see any side deck cards, quick and easy. And then game 3, I super poly him for Moral Attack and his Master Cerberus. After I've stunned him, he didn't really get much going in game 3 because I had Ash from the side and Impermanence. So after those, like all he could get was really like one Master Endymion on field, and or not Master Endymion, Master Cerberus. And then after that, I was able to just like clear it pretty quick. And then he just knew like he didn't have enough. He knew I had Disruption set, and he knew he didn't have enough to break through it. So that was a 2-1 there. So we're 2-0 at this point. Next game, we go into round 3 against, oh boy, Exodia, 1-turn kill. Well, 1-turn kill not as in like his first turn, but I guess it's possible. So pretty much this is just a deck all considered with, all filled with like either stall cards and draw cards, and then 5 Exodia pieces, because that's all you do. You literally just like throw up Mystic Mine, you throw up all the, you set Solemn Judgments, all this stuff just to stall your opponent out from being able to break through your stuff, and then eventually you just draw your 5 pieces and you win. So game 1, I think I ended up going first. And game 1 was actually pretty quick. I ended up like setting back row, stuff. I ended up putting a Redoer up with a trap, and he activates Mystic Mine, and I'm able to chain my Redoer, because like it doesn't resolve yet. So we put the Mystic Mine back on his deck, and then on the next standby phase, I take the Mystic Mine. So he actually doesn't get to draw it again for turn, and it's just going to go to grave when I detach it. I draw, and then I'm just poking up for damage, which is pretty nice. Oh, also in game 2, this was the other one. This was like a super grindy match, but he kind of got effed over a little bit because he used whatever that draw card is. That like you get to pick 3 cards from your deck, put them on top of your deck, then draw, but you can't like set anything or whatever. It has a bunch of restrictions, but it lets you just put 3 Exodia pieces right on top of your deck. And so we did that, but guess what? Daddy's got a Redoer. So I made a Redoer, and I pretty much just like rip it off. I rip one of the pieces off and equip it, and then he's like, oh shit. He literally knows. He's like, I can't win now. I can't even get to my Exodia pieces, and he has so many draw cards. He decks through an Ivory Redoer. He's going to deck out way before I do, so he knows it's over. He can't get through it, and yeah, we take that 1-2-0 pretty quick. So we're 3-0 at this point, and 6-1 in terms of games, not just matches. And then we have round 4. So this is like up until this point, nothing too crazy meta. I guess like Pendulum is like fringe meta. A lot of people don't think it's that good right now, but the tried and true players do believe it's still like decent. Round 4 we play Rockets, so this has been like one of the new hot decks along with like Shaddoll Invoked, but so you're coming back onto the scene. It's just like a combo Guard Dragon kind of deck. You end on multiple negations and like an Abomination, an Unchained Abomination, so he's popping cards a bunch of times during the turn and stuff. Long story short, he rolls like a 10, I roll a 9, so he goes first. He goes pretty much all combo, but guess what? This beauty was sitting in my hand, Super Poly, and he does the Silver Rocket. So he Silver Rockets away my Starving Venom, the 1 Starving Venom, but he has an Unchained Abomination and a Boral Savage, so I am still able to make Mud Dragon of the Swamp on him because they're 2 darks with different types. And then all he had rest on the board was like the spheres, the Heavenly Spheres. So I go to battle phase, I bait that out, he gets the special off that, and then I normal summon a TRAPTRIX monster, get a search, make a Sarah, and I set like 4 back row into him. He was just like, you could tell he was like, man, and he just knew like, and he let me get to like my trap part, like he let me get like the negation set up, and just like kind of broke through everything, and he kind of grinded for a little bit, but after like 2 turns, he just knew like after I negated 1 or 2 things, like compulsed a monster off the field, he knew it wasn't meant to be. And then game 2, he decides to go second. He actually makes me go first because he thinks I'm like oversiding a ton of going second stuff, but really I wasn't. In the matchup, I literally am siding like a 3rd Super Poly. I think I sided Impermanence, Ash, and Droll, and then I maybe sided 2 more cards. I maybe sided the Pankratops, and I think I sided like 1 evenly match. I sided a lot of cards. These I didn't really want to side Pankratops or evenly, but I had like 9 cards I really didn't want in my main going second. Thinking I was going to go second. And so I took those out. Luckily, I didn't draw Pankratops or evenly, but every other card I sided in was like totally fine going first. Like these are just hand traps. I drew an Ash going first. I end up hitting something. I forgot. Oh, he opens my Normaling Cipher, tributes it to activate its effect. Ash. That's pretty brutal. That does a lot to his turn. and he just wasn't able to get much going after that. There was a point where it looked like he might be able to extend a little bit more, but I just had one compulse left, and he takes, after extending through a bunch of stuff, like on the next turn, he ends up making the 10-knee synchro level 8, and he goes battle phase to try and just clear my Sarah and then clear my other TRAPTRIX monster, and that's why I just hit him with the compulse, and he knows, like, he's like, it's over. I can't win now. He's like, I know. I can't win. So yeah, that was another 2-0, and that was it. We actually went 4-0. Crazy. First week playing this deck. Again, I played it before, but like on and off, and I never was really into it too much. And I'm thinking about making this series like, maybe I try and go 3 weeks in a row taking the same deck and see if we can improve, see if we can change some stuff, make stuff better, all that stuff, and see how that goes. But yeah, the deck was good, man. Like, I was really weary. I was kind of nervous about Super Poly in the main because there are some matches where it's not great, and to be honest, like, it was just kind of just good against everything. Played Grand Maju, it's good against that. Pendulum, it's good against that. Hit that. Exodia, not good, but we side that out. And then Rocket, obviously, it's insane versus them. So yeah, it came up like 3 times. We're going second, either losing the die roll or I'm just going second. I have to Super Poly, and I drew it. So yeah, that was pretty good. I'd almost consider playing 3 in the main just because, like, if it's good, it's good. The only thing about playing 3 in the main is I could see 2 of it at some point in the duel, and you really never want to see more than 1 because you only have 1 target for each, like, deck, sort of. So, like, against Rocket, theoretically, you can, like, do Starting Venom and then do Mud Dragon, but that's not, like, ideal, and you also don't know. It's kind of specific, depends on the situation, all that stuff, so that's, like, not even particularly good anyway. So yeah, I think 2 is fine. I think 2 is fine. It's like a nice medium where I'm not like going to oversee it. I'm not going to undersee it. Hopefully it's just that nice little extra edge my deck would appreciate going second. Because yeah, the deck was pretty good. I will say, like, maybe I just didn't see Called by the Grave, but like Called by the Grave was just not that good. Maybe I'd consider something else. Maybe I'd consider just putting in Perman and taking out the Called. Because like I got Ash, but I never had Called, so like I got Ash like once or twice on Sarah, and that like kind of hurt. But overall, it was just so good. It was really, really, really good. So yeah, guys, first place. I got my stole credit. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as any changes I'd make, like I said, I think like this, I just didn't see it. I think I saw it once, and it like I didn't even like activate it. I ended up winning the duel anyway. I never got punished on like desires and artifacts today, so that was really nice. Tiamatron, I think I only saw once, and it didn't matter. It was against like the Exodia guy, so that didn't really matter even that much. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought Heavy Storm Duster performed like really well. That was really good. Like Sanctum was aight. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe can think about looking at the trap holes again just cause, but we're also just waiting for like Hole by the Grave, so we'll see when that comes out. But yeah, not much to say. I think it was really good. I might make some minor changes for next week. Small stuff. Also Nibiru, I like never sided in because I never thought it was like very good versus anything. I might just take Nibiru out, honestly. Like Droll was great versus Pendulum. I saw it once, and then other than that, I didn't see it, didn't need to. So I think like Nibiru is like fine to side out, honestly. So I'll probably do that, and maybe 1 to 3 cards in the main we'll probably tweak around just to try something new, see how it goes. But we got first place at the end of the day, so like how much are we supposed to change? Don't want to be too nitpicky, right? But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. As always, we'll be back next week with another another look at whatever deck we're playing. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to play this again or if I'm going to change it up, because I have like another deck I'm interested in, but I'm just not sure if I'm ready to go into it just yet. So we'll see. Steady as she goes. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.